With over 10 years of experience in marketing and master's degree in strategic communication from Rowan University, Nadia is not just a brand strategist. She is also a fractional chief marketing officer who brings a wealth of knowledge and expertise to every single client she works with. Today, this Jersey girl is here to share her insights on how to build trust and visibility in the crowded digital landscape. Please join me in welcoming the brilliant Nadia Ramos.
We ready to level up? Yes! Yes. All right, we've had lunch. We've just heard all these amazing women speak. Come on, don't tell me you're not ready to level up. I'm just gonna put this up a little bit more. Thank you. Can you hear me okay? Awesome. Okay, I think it's safe to say everyone, doesn't matter where you come from, what you do, everyone dreams about or aspires to grow in some way, shape, or form. And isn't that what leveling up is all about, right? Going from here and taking yourself there, and once you get there, then you gotta take yourself there, and so on and so forth. That's what leveling up is all about. That's why you're all here today, because you're serious about leveling up. But in a world where 95% of businesses fail within the first 5 years, what does it take to do that? What does it take to make that happen? What do you all think? Is it all about who you know? Is it all about what you know? What do you think? I think it's a little bit of both. 11 years ago, I started working in marketing and communications when social media was still in its infancy. You needed a college email to have a Facebook account. So I think it's safe to say, mom and grandmom, they weren't on Facebook yet, on Instagram, let alone TikTok. And back then, before I got my first paid gig in the field, I struggled. I struggled big time. I got a degree from Stockton University in communications, and I applied everywhere. And I just could not get a job. I couldn't get my foot in the door. And, you know, people did the thing that people do. People will be people. You post on Facebook that you got married, and then you start getting questions about when's the kid coming. And then you post about the kid, and then they ask, when's the second one coming? So in my case, it went like this. I graduated with my degree, and I posted about it, and I would run into people, and they would say, did you get a job yet? And that frustrated me a little bit, if I'm honest, because the thing is, I did have a job. I worked as a waitress, and then I dealt cards at one of the casinos on the boardwalk, so I had a job, but that's not the question they were asking. They weren't asking, are you working? They were asking, did you get a job with that expensive piece of paper that we call a degree? And the answer was no, I don't have a job yet. And then they would do the thing that people do, right? People will be people, and they would say, yeah, Nadia, because it's all about who you know. It ain't what you know, it's all about who you know. And I could feel my face getting red, and I would be frustrated. I grew frustrated hearing this over and over again. Because the truth was, I didn't know anyone. The jobs that I could land were in the hospitality industry. And I made good money there as a waitress and then a blackjack dealer. But my passion was communication. That was true 11 years ago, and it's still true today. And I couldn't get my foot in the door. So I grew frustrated about that. And the thing is, if I subscribe to that notion that it's all about who you know, not what you bring to the table, then I knew I didn't have a shot. There was no way I could make it in this industry. That was so frustrating. And thank God, social media came on the scene. And that changed the game for everyone. Because all of a sudden, you could use these platforms to reach potentially millions of people and give yourself exposure and shine the spotlight on you. And all of a sudden, it didn't matter who you knew in real life, right? You could bring what you know the value that you bring to the table to millions of people right on their screen. So that changed the game for me for sure. I'm sure that is true for you as well. The twist is, access only takes you so far. It's what you do with that access that takes you to the next level. Because if now we all have the same ability to potentially reach millions of people, then what does it take to stand out? After working with clients in functional medicine, beauty, and other industries, here's what I found about success on social media. Contrary to popular belief, social media is not about the number of followers you have, how much content you produce, how many times you post. It's not about the time of day you post. Success on social media is about using that access and using that as an opportunity to make it about the people you serve. That makes all the difference. That's how you build a brand that, like a magnet, attracts the right people and opportunities to your brand. And here's how I apply that principle. We're going to talk about this. I break it up into two parts. The first part is to make it easier for people to find you. That part is easy, right? Using social media as a distribution channel to get your message across to as many people as possible. You're not hearing anything you haven't heard before. I'm not saying any breaking news here. The second part, though, is to use social media as a two-way street, two-way communication channel to drive deeper connections with the people who find you. Most of us are nailing part one, which is great, but part two is where we struggle. So let's talk about part one first, since it's the easy part. Part one is all about you. Making it easier for people to find you, using social media as a distribution channel. This is what celebrities, artists, pop stars, this is what they've been using since way back, the time of radio and television, and now social media, of course. That's basically personal branding. And personal branding is powerful because it uses the know, like, and trust factor. It uses the know, like, and trust factor to attract people to you by creating a perception in their minds that they know you. A blog by online marketing company Constant Contact describes personal branding as the conscious crafting of a person's public identity, which includes their image, their story, and their position within particular communities. The article goes on to say, branding is deliberate, but it doesn't have to be inauthentic. In fact, personal brands best succeed when they're perceived as genuine self-expressions. Personal branding is powerful, I tell you. I'll prove it to you right now. Any of you watch any of those shows on HGTV, the ones where they fix up the homes? Yes, okay. Especially the ones with the cute couples, with the cute kids, with the cute story. And you buy into that notion that there's something about them that you like, right? And you catch yourself watching the show, and before you know it, you start having thoughts, dang, I love these people. Their kids are just so dang on cute, and their home is just so dang on cute, and their love story is just so romantic. And then you walk out of Target, and you catch yourself with a cart full of stuff from their home decor line, stuff that you probably don't need, but you just had to have. And that's the power of personal branding. Because they've done such a good job. They've created a connection with you through their brand. Even though they don't know you, you feel like you almost know them. And you know them well enough to like them enough, to trust their style choices enough, to buy from them. That's the key part. The good news is we all have that power. We can all leverage personal branding, especially with social media. Doing so can help us attract people and opportunities to our brands, our businesses. It can help skyrocket our careers. Social media has made it a lot easier and more cost-effective. It's no longer just celebrities or people with a lot of resources that can tap into this. Using social media It's easier for you to shine a spotlight on who you are, what you do, what you have to offer. And again, potentially reach millions of people. That's the first part. Using social media to make it easier for people to find you, get your message across, shine that spotlight on you. Okay, great, we got that part. That part is easy. But that's not where the magic happens. Where the magic happens is in part 2, which is oftentimes easier said than done. And that's the difference maker. This part is, it's harder for personal brands to get this right. Social media has made it so easy to shine a spotlight on who we are that it's also confused the heck out of people. Some of us think our brand and our business is more about us than it is about the people we serve. Just because you have access to these platforms and you can make it all about you, doesn't mean that you should. That's a big and costly mistake. Using these platforms to tell the world more about you than they care to know is not effective for marketing, and it's not profitable for business. I don't mean to be hard on y'all, but if you sell a service or product, remember that behind that screen, there are real people with real problems, with real money, looking for real solutions. Those people are ready, willing, and able to pay you to solve their problem and make their lives easier through the service or product that you offer. Behind those screens are humans, just like you and me. And humans are wired to prioritize their own needs. Whether consciously or subconsciously, people care more about what's in it for them. You care more about what's in it for you. If you're not convinced, take a moment and think about the last time you followed someone on TikTok or Instagram. That funny person, right, that posts all the videos and you crack up every time and you share them with your friends. Why do you follow them? It's likely because they make you laugh. Or that country artists or pop artists, why do you follow them? It's likely because you don't want to miss their concert. You want to get tickets on the front row. I'm looking at all you Taylor Swift fans here who paid so much money for those tickets. And then that mean girl from high school, right? Why do you still follow her? Probably because secretly you hope her life turned out a bit of a mess and her drama features its way on social media. I know, it's horrible. It's horrible, but social media is about people. It's true. So if you're after success on social media and if you want to use it for your personal brand to serve people who are looking for what you have to offer, ask yourself, am I making it about the people? How does my content make people feel? Does it make them feel seen, heard, and valued, understood? What's in it for them is the big question. Social media is a two-way street. Yet many are using it as a one-way channel to talk about themselves. And there's a scientific reason for that, so don't feel bad. It's okay. It's called dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward. Research shows that every time we get a like, comment, or notification on social media, it triggers a release of dopamine, encouraging us to continue using the platform. So it makes sense. I'm not saying we're bad people. I'm saying it's normal. It's science. It's normal. That's why many people post for the sake of posting. I know you've caught yourself saying, I haven't posted in 10 days. Okay, if you're not going to post something of value, why does it matter? Why are you just going to throw up a video, a random photo of your breakfast or your Target haul? What's in it for your audience? Many want the benefits of attention without putting in the work to get to know people better. A successful brand isn't built from the inside out. It's built from the outside in. Through research, feedback, getting to know your ideal client better than they know themselves. Because attention is currency, especially today. And to get and retain people's attention, you better know those people well, better than they know themselves. In short, the message here is don't love the attention and use the people. Use the attention to love on the people. Building community and trust doesn't come from posting more content. A question I get asked often is, what do I post on social media? I have all these photos, all these videos on my phone. I'm maxed out at my storage, and I don't know what to post. And here's what I say to that. If you're lacking clarity and you're struggling to feel like you're adding value through the content that you're posting, that's a big red flag. That's a sign that you haven't leaned in enough to get to know your audience better. So you're clueless. Of course you have no idea what to post and if it's good content. If you sell a service or product and you interact with people one-on-one, I promise you there's a gold mine of content ideas. All you've got to do is lean in and listen up. Because people talk, especially when they've got you one-on-one. Not only do they ask you questions, they express their frustrations, they tell you why they picked you over the competitor. What patterns are you noticing? What things are coming up again and again from client to client? That's your content idea bank. You really don't need ChatGPT all that much if you just put in the work and lean in and listen up. If you have testimonials, that's another really, really, really good place to look. What are they saying about the transformation that you've made possible? I want you to leave here today less confused about content and social media. But in order to do that, we've got to get back to this basic principle that really hasn't changed. Doesn't matter social media came on the scene. And that basic principle is that people do business with people. People support other people's causes. Doesn't matter what you sell. I've had clients who are chiropractors, authors, paralegals. The principle still applies. It doesn't matter what they sell. When these service providers hire me, they likely come to me because they have no idea if what they're doing on social media is working or not. Another reason is I'm getting leads, but they're not a good fit. They're not my ideal client. And one of the places I run to check out what's missing and come up with a solution is their DMs. And in those DMs, there's buried treasure. I find DM after DM after DM ignored, unanswered. I don't have the time of day to respond. And again, I'm going to be hard on you. I've seen this both in for-profit businesses and not-for-profit businesses, so the principle still applies. The thing that we're missing is that people are giving us their time and attention, and in comments or DMs, maybe they're asking a question. Maybe they have an inquiry, and it goes ignored, unanswered. And so we haven't really done the job of moving that potential lead through the customer journey and closer to booking a call with you, to working with you, to supporting your mission and your cause. There's a big missing piece here. The conversation essentially went nowhere, and that potential lead never became a lead. If someone takes their time, again, to write you on social media, don't take it lightly. Why is it that we treat social media engagement different than we treat email or phone calls or text messages? Is it because there's more people in this sea? It's really not all that different. There's still a person behind that screen. It's almost like we expect this to happen. We post content and people will buy. We post content and people will support. We post content and people will show up to my event. We're skipping that middle part, where trust is built over time and we build deeper connections. If we're not too busy to post about what we had for breakfast and to post our cute outfit, we're not too busy to add a filter on the photo so we can look as cute as we can, then we're not too busy to give someone our time after they've given us their time. Make it about the people, and the people will make it about you by engaging, sharing your content, showing up to your events, and ultimately choosing to work with you. Does your content answer their burning questions? Does it share expert insights that others gatekeep? Your content has the potential to drive people through that customer journey, like I said earlier, but you've got to put in the work. You've got to put in the time. If it isn't doing this for you, then you've got to ask yourself, does a shift need to happen? Do I need to shine the spotlight away from me and onto the people I serve? Whether your goal is to land a dream job or to grow your business, to support a nonprofit, I know you're sitting in this room today likely because you believe in your mission and you believe in the impact that it can have on the people you can serve. And if you could only reach more people who have the influence and the resources and tap into those resources to take your mission forth, right? But today, more people are vying for attention. So you've got to make it about what's in it for them. That's how you're going to stand out. This is the only way to make people feel seen, heard, and valued. So as you continue to build your brand, I challenge you, I urge you, shift the attention away from you and onto the people you serve. Make it about the people, make it about the people, make it about the people. And the people will make it about you, and growth will follow. Thank you for your time and attention today. I pray that this message will help you leave a mark in the communities you serve. Thank you.